Yeah.
I personally don't like Hearthstone anymore. I think that game needs like at least 200 new cards, and then I'll play.
You know what the problem with Hearthstone is? They're trying to be
Max is
Magic,
coming out.
but not Magic.
They're not trying to be Magic at all. They're trying to be better, which they're not doing too good at
Yeah.
anymore.
I think they're trying to be Magic Light. It feels very much like Magic Light.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that.
Yeah,
no instance.
Everything is much easier. Simple.
Right, no planeswalkers. No worry about mana base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's everybody's day. We have some news. They just released the new... what the next block is gonna be.
Dun, dun,
Are you serious?
Cons.
Internet,
Here.
kiss my ass.
Okay.
You freaking suck.
They just released the next block. It's gonna be called Cons of Tarkir.
I think that name is awesome. I guarantee it's not
The
gonna
interesting
be
about this, they released 2 artworks. If you go on the link, look at the second artwork. Who is that?
Oh, Sarkin Ball is not dead.
It is
the mountain
Sarkin.
is not dead.
So I find that pretty cool.
I know Dan gets that reference, don't you, Dan?
Yes.
I am actually a huge fan of the Sarkin cards. I think both of them are good for their own reasons.
I did not like the red-green one.
I like the black-red one. I think the red-green one's just fine. I
think the black-red one is awesome, but I think the red-green one, it lacked a little bit.
Yeah, it's not bad, though.
No, it's not bad.
So, we got another Sarkin coming. I'm guessing that's that artwork. I mean, it looks like I'm...
So, Sarkin has not been...
They said it was.
Sarkin has not been a non-multicolored Planeswalker yet, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's never been a non-multicolored.
Nope. Maybe he'll be a single color this time.
Yeah. So,
well, if I can judge by the color of his outfit...
I did not look at the picture closely.
It looks black-red to me.
Black-red, yeah.
Does it? Okay. I didn't look at it closely. I was just like, might as well bring it up.
Looks black-red to me.
Alright, well, fair enough.
So.
And he's got fire coming out.
What's he going to be called now? Sarkin the I don't give a crap, all of you go die?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so we got Sarkin coming up. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to be. Derek Brent, I'm going to put shouting out Derek Brent right now. He has built me my EDH deck for the challenge.
Why'd you do it? Why did you do it?
He made me a Zur deck, and on top of this being, just looking at the deck list, I'm probably going to build this in paper and not touch it and play it in regular EDH.
I think I might have to actually cop out.
Because the list is actually quite brilliant.
I'm kidding. I'm not. Somebody got a deck list.
This list is actually quite brilliant for being nothing but commons.
Alright, so we got one deck list down, and we
Ruined
still
some decks.
have me, Brennan, Dan. Does Peter say he was going to play?
Yep, Peter has a deck. I think someone's been working on it for him, Maddie.
Alright, so right now, I think Maddie said he would play too, but I'm not sure. Chris, we're going to try to get Chris to play, but...
I'm sure Chris will.
Yeah.
So yeah,
right now,
to the listeners out there, I think Chris Plummer needs a list.
So do I. I need a list. So does Brennan, and so does Dan.
Brennan has one.
I don't get anything. God damn, I saw
You got the list?
I did?
Yeah.
What? Where?
Yeah, a few weeks ago we talked to you. Your list was you were like the first one to get a list.
I was?
Yeah.
Ship it.
I can't remember what episode it was, but you were the first.
Oh my god. I never saw a deck list.
You got the first deck list, Dan got the second one, and then Brennan had one, and then Peter had one, and now I just got mine.
Well, at the end of the show, for the person who sent me a deck list, and for everyone else who listens, I have a big surprise. So stay tuned.
So yeah.
they're just going to hear my announcement and just mute it. So
I can't remember what episode. I'm going to have to do a little research to get all those. We'll do an update on it next week to see who's playing what. That's the easiest thing to do. We got lots to talk about.
Brennan, did you know you had a deck list?
No.
Oh my god.
I didn't.
Yeah, you do.
I knew Brennan had one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
And Nate knew I had one. I didn't know.
I think you got it on the episode you weren't on.
Oh.
Oh my
Awesome.
god.
But
In
yeah,
the words of
yeah,
TZYL,
has
oh
one
my
except
god.
Chris and Maddie, as far as I know. So keep putting them in. But yeah, so we'll do an update on that next week because we got lots to go through.
Okay.
Go for it.
Next on the news, we got Vintage Masters spoilers.
Yeah, yeah.
Are we done with the cons yet?
Huh?
No.
Cons of Tarkir.
Yeah, the news.
Oh, Comstock here. Yeah. I think it's cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're done.
We got spoilers for Vintage Masters. One of the big things is Arrogant Worm is being
Yep.
downgraded.
They said that they are downgrading. So they said that the cards that they spoiled now, there's plenty more to be downgraded to common.
Yeah.
One of the cards that I've been hearing that a lot of my friends believe, and I don't want them to do this, but they believe Roar of the Worm. I don't believe that card is going to be in there, but
It sounds logical. It's another uncommon from Odd Block.
it makes 2 6/6s. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's a lot of mana for Pauper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pauper is generally much faster than Odd Block Standard was.
True. But yes, we did get, so far we have gotten Arrogant Worm and we have gotten Circular Logic, so Madness. The deck will finally become a deck, and I've been waiting for it.
I'm not excited about Arrogant Worm. It's just a 4/4 for 3 in best case, and Aura Gnarlids and Matka Rioters and anything in Hexproof will just laugh at it.
Yeah, but it has trample. I think it's really good against decks like Delver and decks like Goblins and whatnot. It's a 4/4 trampler for 3 at instant speed.
Who can, which deck would play it? Would you make a Madness deck?
Madness!
We're talking.
Still, power creep has gone so far since 2002 that I'm not impressed.
We're talking Simic Madness because it's possible.
I mean, how high do you want the power creep to go? Like,
it has already done. That's what I'm saying. Like.
I
yeah,
thought you said the
Arrogant Worm is dated.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I think Delver is leagues better than Arrogant Worm is. I agree with you there.
Yeah, I think if you want to play a creature with 3 mana, you're basically looking to get something better than 4.
I believe that if the deck is built properly for Madness, it will work. It just hasn't been built properly.
I'm much more excited about Circular Logic. I think that's a very dangerous card.
I think that's the big card.
Yeah,
I think Arrogant
Worm could trigger this, couldn't it?
I humbly agree with Dan. I mean, this could open up like some kind of tortured existence type of brew.
Yeah.
Circular Logic as the counter.
I think it could be broken in a control deck somehow to get a 1-mana counter.
Really?
Isn't there some instant?
I don't know how yet, but I'm sure.
There's some instant cards that you draw a card to discard a card.
There might be.
Because any of those, you can instantly draw cards and then trigger Circular Logic as a discard to counter a spell.
Yeah.
Any looter.
Oh yeah, this might make cards like Merfolk Looter, and it might make Looter Ilkor more playable if you have good Madness cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I like Simic.
Worm would be fun.
Yeah.
That's why I like Simic.
A lot of people have. I've been getting messages from a couple people about the Goblin guy. I forget the name, but the 3-mana 1/1 that when he attacks, he pumps all your goblins until end of turn.
Goblin General.
Yeah, there you go, Goblin. I'm gonna try him out, but I highly doubt he's going to be.
I think he's slow.
He is too slow. I think the only card you want to play in your 3-mana slot is, if any, is Matron.
Yeah.
Because I think Bushwhacker is just better in every way.
Yeah, it is.
Just because it's cheaper, and it doesn't have to attack to give the +1/+1.
Yeah, because I think you're on the right path, Mike, because when you're going in with goblins, your Bushwhackers swing winning.
Yeah.
Goblin General is aimed more towards aggro over time, where if you're goblins, you don't want to be aggro over time.
I mean, if you're going to win with it, you're probably winning. You probably were already winning.
Yeah. So why haven't you won yet, basically?
Yeah, basically. I think it actually makes goblins slower, not faster. There's a big problem. Also, I have seen a person not playing Sparksmith anywhere in their 75. I've never cried out of joy in so much in Magic.
Yeah.
I hope it spreads.
I think the time will tell on Goblin General. I don't think it's
I agree.
that
I agree.
good. I'm with Mike on this.
Awkward sounds.
Yeah,
But-
I haven't seen anything in Goblins that makes a difference to the Pauper deck.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything yet.
But Circular Logic, I think, is an awesome addition. I think Arrogant Worm is an awesome.
You know what they could do, Dan? Because there's rumors that Hymn to Turok is going to be common. They could make Goblin Grenade a common, finally.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be so
nuts.
sweet. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
I don't think I'd ever play another deck if Goblin Grenade was actually a common.
Turn 1, any goblin. Turn 2, dragon fodder.
I mean, you could just have you
Turn
can literally
3.
have 8 Goblin Grenades with the Goblin Arsonist and Reckless Abandon combo.
Yeah.
Like you literally just have like just all Goblin Grenades.
Goblins swing for 1, burn you for 5.
Mogwar Marshal kill you. Like, wait, what? It's turn 3. Yeah, you're dead, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, Orcish Lumberjack. That is interesting to me, too.
Well, that's for Storm.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
'Cause
already
they-
in Pauper?
Yeah, that's already in Pauper. But that's really just for Storm in the set.
Yeah,
Because they
but-
said they wanted to draft it like it's Cube. I don't know.
Yeah, but at the
Oh, that's
same
gonna work.
time, like with Vintage Masters coming out, people are like, I've already seen some people noting like, yeah, Orcish Lumberjack, but it's like it's already in there.
Yeah, it's already a common.
It's already common, but I think it's one of those cards that people kind of dismiss and forget about.
Yeah.
Because it's bad.
It was in Special Kyle's red-green Storm deck.
Yeah.
Wasn't that back when like Empty the Horns was legal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ain't legal no more.
Yeah.
Although the funny thing is, Temporal Fissure is in Vintage
Right.
Masters.
Yeah, what the hell.
So is Brain Freeze, which is awesome.
Listen, I seriously would, if like, all right, I wouldn't unban Temporal Fissure. I wouldn't go that far. I don't want a reoccurrence of blue green Storm and mono blue Storm, but I really think that they could downgrade Brain Freeze to a common. They won't do it because it does something more powerful than a common should, but.
Yeah.
I think Brain Freeze being legal in Pauper would actually be fair.
Yeah. What do you guys think of them adding some of the conspiracy cards to Vintage, like Will of the Council?
Did they do that?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
Oh,
Yeah, there's...
We're looking at Tyrant's
few.
Choice.
Yeah.
Well, I would just like to say that the during the Pro Tour when they did the conspiracy draft thing, the
Right.
thing that I looked at when I saw Brian David Marshall and Newmont the Nummy and all those other people drafting it, it looked to me like they didn't want to be there, but they were paid to just not say anything bad. I think conspiracy is an absolute waste of time, money, and printing and effort, and should
Well-
never have been created.
It's a product that, okay, a lot of, I can see where some competitive players might seem like that, but this is like, next to the Commander decks, this is just one of those things Wizards is doing. Their ultimate goal, they're not targeting competitive and pro play.
No, I'm not looking at it from a competitive standpoint. I'm looking at it as I think they could have done something way better and way different.
They're exclusively targeting this product towards casual and EDH players. Because if you notice, in Conspiracy, a lot of the cards that are in there are highly EDH playable. Like,
Right.
Oh, I agree with you.
highly EDH playable. Some almost exclusively.
I
And
absolutely
Swords
agree
to
with you.
Plowshares and stuff like that are also being printed in there.
I'm not saying it's bad for EDH. I think it's a waste of time because it's made to be a limited format that I think is just dumb. I think it's going to be too confusing for most people. I think a lot of people are gonna get tired and they're gonna be like, well, that's stupid that works, and what the hell, man? This is screwing everything up. And blah
Well,
blah blah.
Like, how, like, I have one question about Conspiracy, and I'm confused about this. Is this a two-headed giant draft sealed event?
No. No,
No.
what it is, it's 8-person draft, and you break off into teams of 4.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're potting
That's
off in
fine.
4s.
Yeah, it promotes team play. Wait, I mean, listen, it's just my opinion. I am willing to be wrong. If people like it, people like it.
Yeah.
I mean, people like, certain things of music and certain movies. Fireman! And I have no problem with it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, though, this set right here is the first set that's made me want to buy a box.
Yeah,
I
I'm
haven't
buying
bought a box in a long time.
What, Conspiracy?
Conspiracy. I'm going
Yep.
to buy a box.
I'm buying a
'Cause
box of
I
this.
think it's awesome.
Mine's
Oh.
going to be on reserve tomorrow.
You guys are going to get me so much hate mail right now just for saying that. Thanks.
But you know what?
Hey, whoa, we didn't
I do have to
refute your
say-
opinion. You can have all kind of opinion.
Yeah, but you have to understand, when I say stuff, it's not, people don't take it as an opinion even if I say it.
Yeah.
Dan's like, I am here.
Yeah, I know conspiracies paper cards, and then I check out because I don't play paper magic. So
See,
I
for me,
don't care at all.
yeah, for me, Conspiracy is the first time they're making a Planeswalker that I actually despise more than Jace the Mind Sculptor. Like, if I'm looking at Dak Faden and Jace the Mind Sculptor, I now have a love for Jace the Mind Sculptor that I have complete hatred for with Dak Faden.
Wow.
I don't play paper either, so the conspiracy doesn't matter at all to me. But I plan on opening up a store with friends, so I'm like, if I'm going to be a retailer, I'm trying to look at this from like a retailer standpoint. Like, it's cute to make money off of, but I feel like I'd be robbing people of money by having them play this. I'm not trying to be harsh, but I really Facebook in one of my Facebook groups for my local store, we're talking about it, and like 4 or 5 people were highly confused about the adding an extra booster pack thing. Like, it sounds good in theory, but then it's just like, well, what happens
That's a
if
May
E
ability?
Is it?
Yeah.
It's like saying, well, what happens if E equaled MC third instead of square? I don't know what 3 is called, but
I believe it's...
I don't know math anymore.
Yeah, I believe it's a May
Cube,
ability.
Sorry.
And
Wait, isn't cube 4? No?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Cube is
3
3.
dimensions.
Yeah.
Cube.
yeah, I believe it's a
Sorry.
May ability, and it's if the person that plays it is buying the pack.
You actually have to buy a pack.
I'm guessing
Well,
that's
it
how
would be, yeah, I guess technically, but it would be cooler if the retailer would just
Yeah,
throw
the-
some random jank-ass pack in there for free. Think
I
about
would like to assume that most retailers are cool people and not money hungry,
Yeah.
Right.
but
I mean,
I don't
They have to have
Yeah.
a dearth of something sitting by. M13.
I mean, just
anything.
throw Unhinged in there. Just be like, here, somebody gets a free Unhinged lens. And
Or, yeah, something.
just play a jackass. And you're
Oh.
just like, what?
Yeah. Did you see the potential, what they're going to put in Conspiracy as the basic land? Looks like they're going another full art land set.
Nice.
Really?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw
now
it this
I'm excited.
weekend.
Who
I
is
follow...
using a marker?
What's that?
Who's using a marker?
Marker.
I'm not.
Nate, what the hell are you doing?
I'm not using a marker.
What are you talking about?
You guys don't hear that?
I hear it.
What does it sound like?
A marker.
Okay, seriously, Brendan, is that you?
I'm not doing it.
I don't know. Don't worry about it. But so yeah, that we got like Vintage Masters are still spoiling stuff, and as we get close to a full set, we'll go through and talk about it more.
As long as I know I'm not nuts and somebody else heard the marker noise, we're good.
Yeah, I don't know.
As long as I know I'm not nuts.
Okay.
But yeah, Vintage Masters spoilers. As they bring out more cards, we'll talk about them, and we'll do a big thing on it.
The last thing I'll say, I dare to say Vintage Masters is going to be the absolute greatest thing to ever hit Magic Online. It might actually, like, turn people back on to Magic Online if we don't end up going to the beta.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, so we have that.
Look.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
So what's next? Mister,
Yes.
I gotta go work.
Update. Okay, Chris Weaver sent us an update on how he's doing. I'll just read it here. He says, "I'm back home in LaPorte, Texas, which is my hometown. Family's doing well. I'm searching for a job currently. I officially quit MTGO since my local card shop here is pretty nice. The place is called Willpower Gaming, and they hold a variety of events throughout the whole week, including 2 standard events and 2 drafts. I've been playing standard black-white mid-range to great success because the F&M competition is way lower than MTGO DEs. Although, there are a handful of decent players on any given night. I'm trying to convince the shop owner to run Pauper events, but he just doesn't have the inventory of older cards needed to run it. I don't regret my choice of ditching MTGO, and while you guys are firmly in the camp of Pauper being liberated, I respectfully disagree. I viewed Pauper...
Chris. I'm definitely not in the camp of Pauper being liberated.
Yeah.
I'm not in the camp of that.
No.
I wouldn't be streaming it and doing articles if I was.
He goes, I viewed Pauper as a format blossoming into a legacy-esque format that didn't cost $4,000 per deck to let you play powerful cards from older sets. While Pauper was a casual player-run format to start with, it erupted into popularity that I hoped Wizards would take under their wing and support with additional events and offerings. Instead, they squashed support for it and seem to have intentionally driven it back to player-run events only. I felt as if I couldn't continue to support MTGO for this reason. I love Magic and I will continue to play it, but I cannot stand behind MTGO staff decisions recently. I also abhor the beta client and refuse to continue to play digital Magic on such a subpar platform.
Yes!
Kibler and others have written ad nauseum about the faults of the beta, so I won't bore you guys with my complaints. There's a social aspect to Magic I've never gotten to really enjoy before that I am loving playing cards in person, even if it's not my preferred format. Best wishes to you all, and thanks for caring about how I am doing, Chris. I'm gonna go on record and agree with Chris. I do MTGO solely for the purpose of being on this show. If I wasn't on a podcast for Pauper, I probably would not be on MTGO.
Did he call the people at his store bad players?
No, he just...
very diplomatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just giving
They
him a
suck,
hard
but
time.
they are nice, is what I heard.
Yeah.
He better come on the show at least at some point. I got to be on the same episode as him sometime.
I did tell him that he's more than welcome to show up sometime to do that. But
that goes for you too, Grant. You lazy son.
Yes, Grant. But I'm gonna agree with Chris on the whole point. I would not have MTGO if I wasn't on this show. I much prefer regular paper play over online play. So.
Sorry, go on.
I only log on to test the brews and play Pauper. That's it.
Remember that 98% of paper players are not online because the client is so bad. And at this point, you have to start wondering if it is intentional. If they are scared that online will kill paper. Still, like it was 1994.
Yeah.
I've been saying for a long time that I think they're killing MTGO on purpose. I
don't think they're killing it because they need it for people like me, people with families that don't have a store nearby. It's my only outlet to play Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if Dan and I are going to play Magic, I mean, those plane tickets to Sweden are expensive.
Yeah.
But besides that, but my view on MTGO is I think it targets a completely different audience, like the audience that doesn't have time to go down to the card shops. I mean, and I'm not faulting Wizards for that. I mean, they want to have a product for everybody. That's fine.
I think at this point it's a product for nobody.
No, MTGO's most important point is to be a testing platform for the pros, I think.
Yeah,
yes.
but for me personally, I have a play group that I play locally here at home, and I have that. So, like I said, if I wasn't on this show, I probably wouldn't have MTGO.
I mean, if it wasn't for Pauper, if it wasn't for MTGO, I would never have discovered Pauper. If it wasn't for Pauper, I would have never started making articles and videos, and I would have never been on the show. And I know a lot of people are probably going to say, well, God damn it, why didn't you just not play Pauper? Because I know how much I'm loved. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, like, as much as I love to hate MTGO, I still will always say that it was a big role in me playing Magic.
Yeah.
I mean, I met my best friend through MTGO because he lives in Croatia, so I would never met him. Igor? What? No, not Igor. My friend Gordani, he's the guy that got third place.
Oh yeah. Well, Igor's from somewhere near there too.
He is? I never knew that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Igor, but you're not my best friend. I don't know. I don't really know how to come back from that. But
Igor's awesome.
He is awesome, but he's just not awesome enough to be my best friend, I guess. I don't know. You kind of put me in an awkward spot.
Sorry.
Nah, but continue.
So yeah. But yeah, so we got that article that Chris sent that.
Just to jump in with something, I listened to Freed from the Real, the podcast, and they made a pretty convincing argument. They were railing, they spent a whole episode talking crap about the beta client.
Yeah.
Then they made a quite convincing argument that every client for Magic Online has gotten worse, and that the best client was actually the Leaping Lizards one, version 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was actually.
Yeah, it actually was. I was thinking about it. And,
Yeah, but if you look at a lot of different products, that happens. They try to make it better and they just make it worse.
Well, I will say this. I played when I started playing. It was version 2, very very early in version 2, I believe. And I started playing at my friends' houses on their motos in version 1. Version 1 was cool. Didn't crash all that much. It was smooth. But I mean, back then in like 2002, 2003, there wasn't, like computers weren't as high maintenance as they are now.
Yeah.
The thing about version 2 is it crashed constantly, it bugged constantly, it disconnected constantly. It was terrible. The interface the interface was good. I think that MTGO version 3 was an upgrade from version 2. But really not by much. I mean, it's like, it's like you got a 300-pound guy to run the triathlon in version 2, and then you got a 290-pound guy to run the triathlon instead. Like, it really wasn't that much. But the beta is just like, now you went from getting like, I don't know the Olympics, but whoever won like the most recent Olympic triathlon, a guy, and then you went to like Andre the Giant to frickin' run for you. It's literally like they went from 2013 or whenever they started the beta, I think it was like 2012, and they went all the way back to 1998.
It's made it worse.
There's a reason we don't use AOL anymore, people. There's a reason.
Yeah.
I used AOL. I was there. It took me 3 hours to download one MP3 back then. I remember the dial-up tone. You got mail. No, you got my foot in your... I don't want to say that on the show.
That beta sucks. Hopefully they worked stuff out so it doesn't suck, but yeah.
That is going to be tough. But, Chris, I'm sorry for all the profanity that I'm using. At least I'm not talking about 13-year-old girls, though.
Enough. No, enough. Ending that conversation right now. It's done. We're done. We're not talking about that.
What? I didn't get you in trouble.
Nope, we're done. We're not talking about that. On to Goodreads.
On to Goodreads.
We have
on to Goodreads.
Really good article on Vintage Masters archetype breakdown. Talking about this was on the mothership.
Yep.
Talking about the development of it and bringing cards down to common level and stuff. Big long article, pretty good. And the different archetypes, and it talks about the different archetypes that you probably should be looking for.
Blue-white control, put in a 3-mana 1/4 that gains 3 life, thinking it's a good card.
Yeah.
Nice job, Wizards.
They're not done spoiling yet.
Yeah, they're not done spoiling.
No, but like they put that card
that...
in there for blue-white control. Like that card sucks. It doesn't block anything.
Then
it's not going to matter.
I know for a fact that Dan and Mikey are gonna like this article. It is called Developmental Eyes, and it is pretty much exclusively talking about the Lion's Eye Diamond
Yeah.
and how amazing it is.
We were the ones that said it. Dan and I were the ones that said it would be in Vintage Masters, and a lot of people didn't believe us.
Yeah, everything went this Masters pretty much. So
Yeah.
Yeah, this article.
Thank God Force of Will is in there. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
This article basically goes over how detrimental Lion's Eye Diamond is and how many decks it goes into.
wow.
Well, the big thing about it is all the decks that it goes into in Legacy, it's a 4 of, which is a lot. But in Vintage, it only goes in a few decks, like maybe Dredge. It goes in some Storm decks. Doomsday is never played anymore, but it can go in that. I mean, right now, after it was spoiled, I believe the promo version went down to like 35 tickets.
The artwork's cool too.
Wow.
Yeah, this card will be less than $1 in.
I don't think it's gonna be less than $1. I think it'll be.
I can prove it to you why it will.
You can prove that I'm gonna buy 4 Lion's Eye Diamonds at 50 cents a piece.
Yeah, maybe 65, but yeah, somewhere around there.
If you can prove that, where in real life it costs like an arm and a leg, I would salute you.
Yeah.
I think I'd
it's an
fly
old
to Sweden
principle
just to
called
shake
supply
your
and
hand.
demand. And the supply will be enormous for this card.
But it's a mythic though.
Oh, sorry,
I
it's
don't-
mythic. Sorry, I thought it was a rare.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh no, if it was a... Well, I think their plan for Vintage Masters was to make most of the the one-of cards mythic.
Yes, the whole
Like Jason,
is mythic,
yeah.
pretty much.
Right.
Even
Yeah.
That
Shadow.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Jace the Mind Sculptor's in there, even though I said I don't think we'll see a Jace the Mind Sculptor in there.
Yeah, what's up with that? Reprinting him like every 6 months.
You know what?
Well, he's a
I
staple
think-
card.
Well, yeah, Jace is also like the superhero of Magic.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has his own... He actually has his own archetype in Vintage. It's called
Yeah.
Jace Control.
Yeah,
Even
and
though
I had to
it's-
sell all
but-
my Jaces at only 50% profit in like 4 months.
But if you look at this, it's going to get worse
Only.
because not only could you play Jace, but if you just put a little bit of red in there, you can play Dak Faden too. And I'm sorry, as much as I hate Jace the Mind Sculptor, I hate Dak Faden a lot more.
I think you do
Well-
from a multiplayer perspective.
I really
Yeah.
do.
I
From a
don't-
multiplayer perspective, he's like
gonna jack
the biggest
stuff up.
nightmare.
Yeah.
I hate Dak Faden so much.
My biggest advice to you guys is if you are planning on getting into Vintage, do it now. Because a year from now, all these cards are going to be way up in price. You see a Black Lotus now for, let's say, 90 tickets. 401, 200 tickets. Let's say. A year from now, when all is said and done and
Double,
Vintage
triple.
Masters only comes back from once, yeah, it's going to at least double, at least triple in price.
The
So,
thing,
the-
the thing you gotta ask yourself here is there room for another Vintage Masters? Is there enough cards that are not?
I don't think
reprinted?
so. I think this will be the ultimate Vintage Masters set.
But I think this will be like the #1 flashback set.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
But
and
you're right, absolutely. The prices
Yeah.
will go up, and
Yeah.
this is the time to get
Oh,
into
absolutely.
Vintage Legacy.
And then Dan, looks like you have an article here.
Yes.
Go
And
for it.
What I did
Please
in
do.
that article was to argue for the rare prices, because at the time I wrote it, I felt very uncertain about the prices of the Power 9 and the Mythics. But now I have even more data, so I think... But first about the rares, they will be in huge supply. And if you look at Modern Masters rares, at the time that Modern Masters were actually drafted, nothing was more expensive than Cryptic Command at 7.7 ticks, and that was a real standout. Nothing else was above 3.5. At the bottom,
is Dark Confidant a mythic in Modern Masters?
yes,
Okay.
and Dark Confidant is still really hurt by the reprint. It's still
Yeah.
really cheap, and actually only Goyf is unhurt by the reprint. So the mythics have come down a lot. But my big thing is that Force of Will be below 10 at least.
Oh God,
It
Force
would
of
be the
Will,
most, and
man.
if the dual lands are rare, they will be pretty cheap.
Paul, I forget his name, but I think it's like Paul L from Pure MTGO. He writes a couple of times, but always comments on a lot of stuff. He said that he picked up promo Force of Wills at like, I think $32.18.
Yeah.
That's really, really cheap.
That will be
You
very
you can
expensive
pick,
in 8 months. In 8
yeah,
weeks, sorry.
right.
Okay.
But imagine that, like, imagine what Vintage Masters is called. Oh, imagine what Vintage Masters is doing now. It's basically saying, from now we're trying to make it that you can buy all the cards. You can buy a set of every card for a third of what one of them used to cost.
Yes. And remember that a pack of this costs 7 tickets. So the content of it must be worth less. Otherwise, it will be profitable to just buy packs and open them. And that will never happen.
I mean, imagine if this was a real life set, man.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, there'd be riots in the street.
But what I'm saying, that's not in the article actually. That's something I learned later. But
Yeah.
the rares will actually be even cheaper than I said, because the Power 9 will probably steal about 40-50% of all the value in the set, and then there's not much left for the mythics. The commons and uncommons will be worthless pretty much. So
I mean, do be
Brainstorm,
reminded.
which is in Conspiracy and will be Vintage Masters, it will cost 5 cents.
Yeah. Do be reminded, you know, the Power 9 is, they said it's like, what, 1 in every 54 packs or something like that?
It's twice as rare as a mythic.
Right,
That's the thing you
but
need to know.
But they actually said like they're making it so it's 1 in every something. I think it was like 1 in every 50 something packs.
No, I think it was
Is it less?
something like that, but it's twice as rare as a mythic. That's the rule of thumb.
Yeah.
So you're probably looking at about somewhere between $50 and $150 for a Power 9 piece.
Yeah.
And that sounds low. I thought they would be higher, but if you are on that level, there's almost, it really drains the price of the mythics and the rares as well.
You know, you said it a couple weeks ago, Dan. I think I have to agree with you that you know, I think they're trying to really help the community and kill as many prices as they can on MTGO and make it affordable. Because I mean, the biggest thing that people have to remember is people will complain about the price because they're paying for digital cards, not real cards, digital ones that you can't actually touch. So that makes a big difference on people's mindset, in my opinion.
It absolutely used to make a big difference, and I'm sure it does still.
Yes.
So what I'm saying here that the big finance tips of today is buy Vintage Master cards, like Mike said, and do it probably 2 weeks into the draft. Seems to be the current idea. If you look at Modern Masters, it wasn't when the drafts ended, but it was 2 weeks into the draft.
At least a week and a half, or 2 weeks in, at least.
Yeah. For some cards it was the end of the draft.
Yeah, for some.
Yeah. For the very popular cards, it's probably 2 weeks in.
I think actually the dual lands will be probably the most expensive out of them because there will be so many people that just want them due to supply and demand. Like maybe tropical. How much? Well, no, Underground Sea right now online is like what 55 tickets, something like that. It might only go down to like maybe 30 a piece, which is still a lot.
What are you saying? The dual lands, how expensive?
Yeah, well, I mean, because of how many dual lands people are going to want. I mean, everyone's going to want 4 of every dual land. So they might not go down that much in price due to supply and demand.
Oh, they will go down. You can't.
No, but not as much. Like they're not going to go from like I don't think Underground Sea is going to go from like $55 it is now to like 10. I don't think that's possible.
It will be much less than 10.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
If it is
I pray to God that you're right.
They might still.
It is a rare. The dual lands are the dual lands are not mythics.
I think the dual lands are rare. Pretty
Yeah,
sure.
they said
what
the
I'm
dual.
saying is that unless people just don't care about the Power 9, all the value in the set is for the Power 9. So there's no price. If you have $30 dual lands, people just crack Vintage Master boosters until the dual lands are $5.
It might even be worth it. Like, are they going to sell them in the store for $7 a piece?
Yes. And it
I
won't
might
be
even
worth
just...
it. It is never worth it to open boosters on Magic Online. So prices will adjust until it is not worth it.
It's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're a rich guy and you want to put some cards in circulation, can afford it, you know.
You will just lose money doing that. And people
I don't
that think
have to
the
know
Force
that.
of Will stay about 20 tickets, so a dual lens will be over 10. They're just don't understand supply and demand.
Everyone I know has already sold out of every legacy staple, every vintage staple that has been spoiled already.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Selling them.
One interesting detail actually for Force of Will, which was put to my attention, is that Force of Will is actually played in 58% of all legacy decks.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Is that it? I thought it was over 60 still.
No, 58 is like I don't think there is a card in Pauper that is played that much. No, the biggest.
No, like I said, Force of Will
is played in 34% of decks.
Force of Will is the most played. Force of Will is the most played card next to Island of all time, I believe.
No, Brainstorm is played in 62% of all legacy decks.
Oh, Brainstorm surpassed it? I think there was a time where Brainstorm actually did not surpass Force of Will. Because Brainstorm got limited in Vintage, and Vintage was a little bit bigger than Legacy at the time.
So if a card will hold, the most expensive rare in Vintage Masters will be Force of Will.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yes, because it is played more than dual lands.
Yeah. Alright, I think we've beaten this to to a T, so
I think we will get to talk about this again when the set is actually...
Yeah, I think we'll get to talk about this again in the next couple months. Dan and I are going to have some fun with this.
Yep. Topic 1. Mikey, you're the one that wanted to bring this one up. We kind of talked about it a little bit already.
Yes, we talked about it a little bit, but as we know, and it was brought to my attention at the beginning of the show, Pauper Premier events are no more. They're done. They're a thing that is going to fade back into the darkest, deepest depths of history.
Yeah, and they died in the most horrible way. The player base
How did they
die? Or that's the way Wizards will interpret it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to know is, with Arrogant Worm, Circular Logic, and even the new Goblin, and more cards being demoted to common on the way, do you guys think it'll breathe some life back into Pauper enough that maybe we might get maybe one daily a day back?
I think it'll breathe life back into Pauper, but not in the way that gives us events.
Okay. Dan, I'm sorry.
Giving us dailies, they pretty much said so.
Yeah. Like I see it. I see this. Some cards getting demoted like Arrogant Worm, bringing decks to the field in player run tournaments that people wanted to play, but didn't because it just wasn't feasible, like Madness.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Circular Logic and Arrogant Worm are huge Madness cards, and I think we're gonna see we're gonna probably see a Simic Madness deck being built to try it.
Oh man, I hope Psychotog is demoted to common. Oh, I would love to play Psychotog.
Oh my god.
I would love to play Psychotog in Pauper. Oh my god.
Yeah,
it would break Pauper.
Psychotog is crazy.
Like, you think Delver is a real problem? You've never played against a Psychotog in a format with no Swords to Plowshares or Path to Exile.
Yeah.
Right. Is there...
Literally, I don't think anything in Pauper kills it in instant speed.
No. Well, no, you can...
Oh, there's Edict effects. No,
the closest thing you have is the hybrid black-white guy that's exile target creature.
Hybrid black... Oh, Unmake, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
But I think that's it. I think that's literally the only card that kills Psychotog in Pauper. No, I mean, well, no, there's a few. There's like the card from Shadowmoor, the white card that's like prevent damage from a creature if it's black or red, destroy it.
Yeah.
The edicts as well.
And the edicts, but I mean the edicts are a bit more complicated though because you're gonna play you can play like Seagate Oracle and stuff. But.
Yeah.
Summon.
You know, upheavals and stuff too. On summon, oh yeah, you can vapor snag it.
Yeah.
But still, you have Apostle's Blessing though, so you just go Apostle's Blessing, you die.
I do know that we'll probably have a brew of the month.
Yeah. Oh god.
We'll probably end up with the brew of the month after the vintage stuff releases.
Yeah, and I think that these new cards might spawn a couple of premier events, maybe. That people actually...
I would hope so.
I would hope so, but I'm not hopeful.
Oh.
I mean, I don't compete in the premier events because I am usually doing a lot of other things on the weekends, and I don't like... I don't personally like devoting 6 hours to one event.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I just don't like doing it. I do it in the Gathering Pauper Tuesday tournaments when I have time on Tuesdays because I support Long Time Gone and I support Gatherling with all my heart.
That place is awesome.
But the premier events, I can't devote a Saturday and or a Sunday to it. I don't really have much time on the weekends because I'm usually doing stuff I didn't get to do during the week.
So what you're saying is, if there was a way you could have a set number of matches and you could basically pick up and go.
Well, what I'm saying is if we had a simple 4-round event, just it took like 2.5, 3 hours. And you won maybe I don't know, I'm just spitballing here, 6 packs for going like some number, like maybe 3-1. If you go 4-0, you win like 10, maybe 11 packs. I mean, I thought they did that once, right? It worked out pretty well. They fired every single day. People love them. What were they called? They still do them.
Oh yeah, dailies? Yeah.
Yeah, dailies. Yeah, we had them at some point. Wizards. We hate Pauper because you guys make enough money.
Well, clearly it's not enough. I don't think you should be so prejudiced against Wizards just because they like money. They were born to like money.
They're in America.
I almost said a really, really bad joke, and then I just remembered we were on the show, and I don't want to get yelled at by Chris because I already did the other thing. I mean, I could say it now because Chris will just delete it, but I don't feel like making extra work, so I don't get a text that's like, "Would you stop being a jerk?"
We're in America. We like money.
We're in America. We like money.
Hey, I think Dan likes money. Let's not leave him out of this.
We only like flowers and hugs.
and apparently rotten meat.
Yeah, we like flowers and free health care. Yeah.
You have free health care in your country?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
There's a lot of countries that have free health care.
Yeah,
dude,
Canada has free health care.
Can I retire in Sweden and just change citizenships?
You're welcome.
I mean, you can have dual citizenship and have free healthcare from Sweden.
Well, that's true.
I'm not promoting
just
it.
come on over. We need people here.
There are some people listening to this call that I don't.
But yeah, so basically, I think with the Cards and Vintage Masters, we'll see some new stuff. And so I think it could breathe some life into it. I just don't think it's going to be anything that results in dailies or premieres. So
I think, or I guess what I'm hoping is it's going to bring more people into the Gathering tournaments. I mean, just imagine if the Gathering tournaments has like 70 people in it at one point.
I think it will. That's one thing I think will happen.
Like, just imagine how many prizes you would get in that.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so what do you think, Dan?
About
topic 1, what we're talking about.
yeah, I think that I hope there will be some premier events.
Dan hopes that there is a God and that he is listening. Those who,
I can't beg him for daily events because I think that's too unrealistic. That will work, but the daily events, nah.
If I could walk on water, like the Joe Dirt
and
thing.
I'm very interested to see the rest of the commons.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But I hope people pay attention also and note that Brainstorm is probably already spoiled for
Yeah,
Vintage Masters.
it's gonna come.
Yeah,
No,
because
it's
I think
spoiled for
just
Conspiracy, so I
right.
bet they will be as similar as they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brainstorm and Swords to Plowshares are spoiled for Conspiracy. They
You know,
spoiled in their little video.
Yeah.
Hopefully
you
it's
know
the
what's,
new artwork.
you know what's really, really sad about Brainstorm, though?
Hmm.
Still not as good as Preordain or Ponder in Pauper. The one format that it can't dominate.
Very true.
Suck it.
Maybe get some more help. For...
You know what? I got to get this off my chest. I got to get this out in the air. For how long, Nate, said that Brainstorm was terrible in Pauper Delver? How long did I say it for?
A while.
Oh, a long while. I didn't see people starting to cut it and admit it was bad until XMemX said it on his stream one day. And I never brought it to light, but I was really, really pissed off about it.
I don't think
Yeah.
Messel
I just want to
cut
point
it
that out.
yet.
Mezzle still plays it?
Yeah, and he's the winningest player in Pauper, like, ever.
Yeah, but he's not winning because of Brainstorm. He's winning because he's a good player.
I think still Brainstorm. I played Brainstorm for a long time in Delver, and yeah, it
I think
makes
I
sense
think
to draw
it's
cards
useless.
at the end step of your opponent instead of in your main phase in a counterspell deck.
I don't think it makes sense. I think it makes more sense to just filter all your draws and make sure that you draw a good spell every turn.
Yeah. The one thing Brainstorm does do is it makes a whole new archetype of deck, because I remember back when I was playing that blue-white deck with the Shroud for Strikers.
Oh, Depth Duelist.
Yeah, the Death Duelist. That deck was actually not bad. Like
Yeah, but you had Squadron Hawks in it, though, so you had shuffle effects.
It was a rogue brew, but it actually wasn't that bad of a deck.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, Brainstorm is like the greatest spell ever in 5-color Zoo, but
Yeah.
sometimes I still wish it was preordained.
Yeah.
Or Ponder, I mean.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically we're looking forward to seeing what comes up in Vintage Pauper or Vintage
Definitely.
stuff. Topic 2, and this is Peter's not on tonight, but he wanted to get this out here because we need to update. We need to do an update on it, and we can recap it with him next week. He wanted to get brew update out. He reports that his record now is 7-3. And mine I'm 2-0 because I've played it twice and won twice. Dan is 0-1.
Yeah, my shortest video ever almost. Smack, oh, I'm dead.
All right. Peter goes into what he thinks needs to be updated and changed. He wants to see a Slaughterhorn out of the deck for a Splatter Thug. He wants to cut the Madcap skills from the sideboard.
Is he cutting all the Slaughterhorns or just one?
No, he wants to put cut one Slaughterhorn for a Splatter Thug.
Yeah.
Or just another, because the Splatter Thug seems to be your go-to to start putting the pressure on, and I can see what he's talking about. Because when I was playing it in my round, Splatter Thugs seemed to be the go-to card to start applying pressure. And not only does it apply pressure, but it whittles away a few removal spells because they have to deal with it.
Yep.
He wants to cut all the Madcap skills out of the sideboard. I guess he just figured out that with the creatures are so massive and so huge that Madcap skills is nice, but you're already hitting with stuff so hard that your opponents are gonna even if they decide to chump out, they're gonna lose their creatures anyway. Which I can see, because like in all my instances, I think I used Madcap skills once. I brought it in once, and then it wasn't even really necessary. Like, my creature was already going to kill whatever it blocked.
Alright.
So I understand that. He wants to switch to 10 mountains and 8 forests, or go to 9 forests, because the burn spells in your deck are so high priority that you need to have red mana. You can't not have red mana.
What was the original mana base?
The original number was more forest heavy and less mountain heavy.
So how many do we change?
We add basically what I already went through on my deck online and made some changes. I think I took away like 3 forests and added 2 mountains.
Are you actually going down 1 mana?
Yeah, you're going down on forest and adding red spell, adding mountains.
So you're adding 3 mountains.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or something, yeah.
So 3 forests.
And then
out,
the
3
flurry of the horn, right to the sideboard.
Yep.
It's only good in 2 decks, really. The mono black control and the mill. It's only useful in mill and mono black. Like I used the flurries in the blue red control deck, but I think even without them I still would have won and still crushing them because he did waste 2 removal spells on those tokens. But I had so many fatties in my hand that he could keep destroying them and I could just keep playing them.
Yep.
It really didn't matter.
What are you replacing the last madcap skills with in the sideboard?
That's a good question. And that's when he said he said you and Dan can figure it out. I would say probably just another shock.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
Because it gives that 3rd burn spell, and burn spells seem to be very prevalent in this deck.
Yep.
So...
what replace the flurries in the main deck?
The flurries, I guess just because I couldn't figure that out, I just, without even thinking about it, like, how about we just go two shot, or, like maybe magma spray, because that is a common now.
It was always common.
Well, magma spray was printed, so we got a magma spray as an instant.
And it looks cool too. Did you see the F&M promo
Just
for it?
Better.
Huh?
Isn't shock just better? The magma spray.
What do you say?
Isn't shock just better?
Shock is better. Like maybe we go with shocks. Like we add 2 shocks to the main board and replace the. Well, didn't we take out a Chandra's Outrage? Like we had a Chandra's Outrage that we had a one of that was taken out of the sideboard.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yes, yeah, that's right.
So maybe we just add that single Chandra's Outrage and go to 4 if we need it.
And a shock.
And a shock.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I'm posting it to the forums.
Cool. So what exactly happened with your games, Dan? You just got blown out?
Yes, my opponent went Akoran Skyguard, turn 2, turn 3, Ethereal Armor, turn 4, Hopeful Eidolon.
Yeah.
Must be.
And the other match were
that's
like turn 1, Lagona, Tribe Hippie, or whatever that 04 is.
Yeah.
Tribe hippie.
And, well, he just...
Someone needs to make
Ruin
that
Armors
altar
killed
right now.
Yeah. All right, my matchups. My first matchup was against Blue-Red. I used Flurry of the Horns to like make them waste burn spell or waste removal spells, basically. But like I guess with the first matchup I favored, what really was awesome going against this blue-red deck was Chandra's Outrage is really cool when they play the weird, the Frostburn weird. Because I didn't care, like really the only threats they could put up were Frostburn weird, and that was really about it while they're controlling the board. So they'd basically control my board out, and they would run out of removal spells, and I would just be sandbagging Chandra's Outrage, or a lightning strike, and I'd literally just sit there and wait for them to bring their swing at me with an open board, and watch them tap their mana out on their Frostburn Weird, and then look to see that they're tapped out, and I would just go, oh, good. Now that you wasted your mana, you can't counter. How about I just burn that Frostburn Weird out and kill it?
Yep, that's awesome.
Yeah. So basically, it was just that, and then I just build the board again, and eventually they just ran out of removal, and I just kept playing fatties.
Nice.
Always love fatties.
That's all that really happened. That was pretty much game for him. And the blue-white matchup, that one was more, he'd play his creatures, and I went into the first game, Like, yeah, couldn't, like, okay, I'm playing blue-white flyers, so I just got to deal with what I have because I can't sideboard first game. So I was holding back my lightning strikes for his flyers, and I won the first game again, just out because with the blue-white flyers, if you get enough fatties on the board, they can no longer answer anything,
I hate that deck.
and they're just done.
I hate the Zorius aggro. I can't.
Yeah, so that's why I won that one. Went into the second game. In the second game, I added 4 plummets, and I added the 4 plummets to the deck. And I think I went with 2 naturalized just because I wasn't sure if I was going to see a Nimbus Naiad or not, and I just wanted to be ready for it. So I did that. And then, so I start out with a slow hand. He got a win off of it. We go into the second game. I drew nothing but plummets and what else? Naturalize. I got nothing but plummets and naturalizes. So every time he would get that Daring Skyjet up or one of his flyers, they just got completely just killed immediately without even being able to do anything. It was like, yep, you're tapped out, die. That can die. And he had the Daring Skyjet, and he wanted to go in with that Daring Skyjet so bad, but he could never battalion up enough because every time he would build an army to battalion up, it'd just get wiped out immediately before he could do it. So all I did was sit there with the Daring Skyjet that just did nothing. That's pretty much how my matches went. And again, just outfattied the board.
Do you like the fatties?
Oh,
Nate?
yeah. In fact, what made him, in the third game I played, he actually ended up scooping because he kept trying to get rid of my creatures, and then once I got the second Nesh and Aspout, it was like, yeah, you win, bud. He just gave up. he stared down 2 Nesh and Asp and a Baloth and just said, yep, you got it. I can't do anything.
Nespian is it's a big guy. It's a big boy.
Oh yeah, he is.
Oh,
And the funny thing about it
8-9.
is, you get the Nesh and Aspout and just stand out. You just sit on him. You don't do anything except sit on him and just swing with the Baloth. They don't want to swing in after they're on the board. So, but yeah, it's been fun. I enjoy it. It's pretty cool.
Sweet, I will make these updates and play a couple of more games.
Huh?
I will make the updates and play a couple of more games.
Cool,
All
cool.
on video.
But yeah, that's where we're at with had Brennan, you had a chance to play this yet, or are you just too busy on the other thing?
Right now, I'm pretty much solely concentrating on the Gauntlet at the moment.
Okay, that's fine. So, but yeah, so that's kind of our update on that. Like I said, once Peter comes back, we'll recap it. Metagame. And, wow, do we got a doozy here.
Oh, yes.
Pauper Classic Tuesdays. And I am actually going to shout this guy out. Urgy?
Yep.
Good one on ya. Infect. First place. Yes, I said Infect.
Oh, yes.
That's
Oh,
pretty
he said
crazy.
infect.
Yeah.
We thought it was gone.
It's like,
No,
it's
we
like
hoped it
herpes.
was gone.
It goes away for a month.
Yeah,
or
it's
two.
Oh, okay.
gone, but then it's
Okay.
back.
To be fair, after what he just said, there's no way that Chris could take it out on me for what I said before, right?
It's
Hey,
fine.
we're talking about a medical condition.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Serious, Mikey.
I don't want to hear anything from you, card shuffler.
I'm not shuffling no cards.
Not right now, you weren't.
I have never seen anyone play Hickory.
Wow, we got Infect, and looking at his record, he 2-0'd a whole heck of a lot.
He did not lose a match, and he 2-0'd 1, 2, 3. He 2-0'd 4 out of his 7 matches.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He 2-1 CAG 5383, who is also in the top 8 in round 4, and then he 2-0'd him, and then he 2-0'd the finals match.
Yeah.
Really
He also 2-0'd his first opponent, and he 2-0'd his second opponent. Yeah. For people who are wondering about his list, it's the list that I saw in an 8-man thing. I think he's actually the person who did it. Yeah. He's running 4 Blight Mamba, 4 Glistener Elf, 4 Acre Clawmere. He's running the 4 Lano Augur, but he's not running Rotwolf anymore. He's running Cisbearer now.
Yeah.
The Rotwolf in the sideboard.
Yes, the Rotwolves are in the sideboard. He's running 4 Hunger of the Howl Pack. He's running 4 Mutagenic Growth. He's running 4 Rancor. He's running 4 Seal of Strength, 4 Vines of Vastwood, 3 Apostle's Blessing, and my favorite, 1 Giant Growth.
Yeah.
No Groundswell.
Nope.
He's running Hunger of the Howl Pack instead.
Yeah, he's not running any Lotus Petals at all, but combined with Hunger of the Howl Pack, it's better.
If I have to say anything about this deck, I gotta say this deck. There's like, okay, your Infect decks in the past had a little bit of subtlety to them, where it was just kind of, I have this thing and I'm gonna swing with it, and I'm gonna make it big later. This deck just flat out comes out and says, hey, I'm playing Infect. I got 4 Llanowar Elf and I got 4 Seal of Strength that say I am gonna crush the crap out of you.
Llanowar Augur.
You're not
Elf.
Yeah, this deck is just flat out. You're not hiding anything. You're like,
no, you're all in.
You're all in. I'm gonna.
You're against Doyle Brunson, and you're the one with the 10-2.
Yeah.
What's up with the Hickory Woodlot?
Yeah, I was just looking at those.
Yeah, I didn't get that one.
I don't think that's needed.
Because I would say 16 lands is crazy to play in Infect. I played a lot of Infect. I have 3-4 O's in dailies with Infect. And I was at 19 land at the end, because it is so crucial to hit 2 lands.
Yeah.
But maybe this saves a spot. Maybe you don't have to have as many lands if you have the Hickory Woodlot.
Yeah.
I think 16 lands without any Lotus Petal is nuts. When I 3-1, the only daily I ever played with Infect, and I played a lot of Infect, but I didn't play a lot of dailies back then. The one daily I played with Infect, I played 16 lands and 2 Lotus Petals, and I would never look back.
That's pretty much an extra round.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I wholeheartedly agree with you, Dan. I think 2 lands is so crucial because you have to be able to pump and have Apostle's Blessing or Vines of Vastwood open.
Yes. And here you actually play for main deck 3 mana creatures as well. So.
Yeah.
You have to hit.
But I guess.
But look how many 2-0s he had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something is working out with these Hickory Woodlots.
I think that the Llanowar Augur and I think the Hunger of the Howl Pack combo is what carried him personally.
Probably.
That's a new tech here. That looks pretty sweet. I think Llanowar Augur is so bad in itself, but now it looks sweet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then what do we have? Rounding out the top 8, we've got Affinity.
We have Sock. Want me to just read them?
Go for it.
We have Socanellis with Affinity. What type of Affinity is he running?
Research, 4 of them.
Oh, he's running the good version. Good.
Yes.
Good. Did he have anything that's in the sideboard against Infect? Probably not.
Probably not. He probably wasn't expecting.
Pretty good. Electrickery.
Yeah, he had Core Clan Shaman and Electrickery. He had 4 Cop Red. That didn't really do much, I guess.
Oh.
CAG 5383 is a pretty good player. He used to play a lot in Standard Silver Black back in the day. He was running what I'm assuming is this Rugtron or is this just Rug? Oh yeah, he's running Rugtron. Urgi was his only 2 losses. Actually.
Yeah.
What he beat actually was Torith with Blue Delver. He beat Burnboy Bingham with Snow Covered Zoo, somewhat close to my list. He beat Planeswalker 8-3, who also top 8 with Hexproof. And he beat Mono Black Control in the top 8 to make top 4. He's playing Mole Splicer, too.
Yeah.
He's playing a 2 of Mole Splicer in his deck.
That's weird.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Dan, what do you think about that?
I think it's better than Crusher if you expect to run into a lot of point removal. Spot removal. So if you want to, be... is he running Flicker?
No, he's not running any Ghostly Flicker that I see. He's running 2 Ponder, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you expect a lot of mono black, which you usually do in these tournaments, there's 2 of them in the top 8. I think it's really good.
Dodged them both.
Yeah. Yeah. Urgy dodged them both. In top,
look at the number 4 list.
yeah. Also in 4th we have Stiltskin 88 with mono black, and he's
like
running pretty much. Yeah, he's running pretty much stock, but he has 4 against verdict made, 2 deadweight, and then in the sideboard he has 2 diabolic edict as well. He basically said, "I don't want to lose to Infect." But somehow
how could he know?
The problem actually he has is that he has too few 1 mana removal, because it all comes down to the 1 mana removal against Infect.
Yeah. I don't know. I like 3 deadweight, or like 2 deadweight, 1 disfigure, just to mix it up.
Yeah.
In 5th place, just round out the top 8, we have another affinity deck by Garland. This type of affinity deck is old school affinity with Disciple of the Vault and main deck Karkland Shaman. Yep, pretty stock list. We have then mono black controlled by Gons, who... Oh, I guess it's a good idea to say like who the top 8 lost to. So Garland lost to in the top 8. He lost to Stiltskin playing mono black. And then Gons was also playing mono black with Liliana Spectre, actually.
I like that card.
Yeah. He's running Disfigures over Deadweight. He has Unearths. He's running 4 Barrenmore and 1 Bajuka Bog. And in the sideboard he has 3 Befoul, a couple Shrivel. He was pretty prepared for the Infect deck kind of too.
He was pretty prepared for Tron, but it didn't help him.
Yeah, he didn't fare well against CAG. He actually lost to Tron, believe it or not, with 3 Befoul.
Tron is very favored in this matchup.
Yeah, Tron is pretty good against mono black if the mono black player isn't over prepared for it.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if I like Befoul. Like, I think the 3 mana, like Choking Sands, is just better if you're going after Affinity.
I think you're right.
And that does some damage too, so.
Yeah, but I mean, the biggest thing is like you're playing. I guess you're playing Befoul because it can also kill a creature, but 4 mana is a lot of mana to tap in your own turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then we got I'm the Jitte, pretty old school Gathering player, been around for a long time. He also played Tron. He also had 1 Mole Splicer, but he had 2 Ulamog's Crushers instead.
And no Firebolts.
He had no Firebolts. He had 4 Flame Slash, 2 Lightning Bolt. He's playing a Darksteel Ingot. Okay.
Yeah.
He lost to Urgy.
Yeah, no
So, yeah,
Firebolts died to Infect. Makes sense.
Yeah, he kind of got crapped on. No, he had 1 Cop Green in the sideboard.
Yeah, that's...
Guess he just never drew it.
That's pretty hopeful. You have to draw it and you have to have mana.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to draw it and have mana. It's pretty bad. Just to let you guys know, there is an answer actually to Cop Green in the sideboard. In fact, they do run 4 Nature's Claim. Obviously, if any of you are listening and don't know what Infect is, Infect is basically the ability Poison and the ability Wither put together. So when you take damage with Infect, you're not actually taking real combat damage. Your life totals are going down. You're getting poison counters. And the way that magic works, once you get 10 poison counters, you lose the game no matter what. Why it's still like that in EDH, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But also, if you block a creature, let's say Cisbearer blocks Mirror Enforcer, the Mirror Enforcer is not going to have 2 damage on it as state-based effects. It's going to have 2 -1/-1 counters on it that stay on it. So it'll be a 2/2 for the rest of the game. So Nature's Claim is basically just a 1 mana naturalize, because you don't care about them gaining 4 life. So it's really good.
Yeah.
And then, last but not least, we have Planeswalker 83 with Hexproof.
Chris's favorite deck.
Yeah, now it is. He's running the Hyena Umbra Spider Umbra version. He's running 2 Lifelinks and 2 Armadillo Cloaks. That's kind of weird.
I think Lifelink
He doesn't have any extensive cards. He's not running Ancestral Mask. He only has 2 Armadillo Cloaks. It looks like a budget version.
Yeah. Looks like a budgeted version. He lost to.
But even those are not very expensive right now.
Yeah, they're really not. He lost to Suck and Ellis, which was the Perilous Affinity player, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, in the top 8. So
And Rug.
yeah, and he lost to the Rugtron. So pretty diverse top 8, I think.
Yeah.
2 Affinity decks, 2 Tron decks, 2 mono black decks, an Infect deck, and a Hexproof deck. So you have 2 combo decks. You have 2 mono black decks, very, very similar to each other. You have 2 Tron decks, also very similar to each other, and then 2 different types of Affinity deck, 1 old school and 1 new school.
Yeah.
Overall, pretty diverse field, I might say.
Yep. And then...
Yeah, the opposite of the diverse field would be the MPDC 24 Worlds for Standard Pauper.
So I played in this tournament. I did. Played in this tournament.
And I don't see your...
No, you don't see me because I played Gordani's deck, and in game 1 against the Azorius deck, he went turn 1 Cloudfin Raptor, turn 2 guy, turn 3 guy, turn 4 guy, and I proceeded to draw land. Oh, read the bones. Land. Put him on the bottom. Land. Game 2, he went turn 1 Cloudfin Raptor. Turn 2 Cloudfin Raptor into 1-drop that pumped them both. Into another guy that pumped them both. And I was just like, you know what? Rage quit, scoop, leave.
Oh my.
Needless to say, I was pretty salty. But we do have a pretty good diverse top 8. Although I did make one prediction. I predicted that Azorius would win, and it did. Torith, I think, has actually been the champion for the last 2 weeks. With his Azorius aggro deck, actually did win.
Yeah, I believe this. Let's see, Azorius. Yeah, Torith has won.
I know he won the league tournament before, at least.
Yeah, he's gone 12-1 with his Azorius aggro.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
Azorius aggro is who's the person I faced? I think Forley was the person was Forley the person I faced? I don't remember who I faced in round 1.
Well, no,
Yeah.
Forley's playing mono white. But Azorius.
I faced off against
number 1.
BSK. That was the person that whooped me.
Basically, the thing I've found with this deck, if you can keep the Winged Steed, if you can keep the Winged Steed Rider and the Daring Skyjack at bay, for some reason you really make this a hard deck for them to play.
Well, what I found with this deck is it's unbeatable unless the blue-eye player gets unlucky. So I don't know what to say. I actually have not played against the deck since lands don't win games by themselves. So
right.
In my matchup with this is the exact list that I faced when I was testing on Brew, and all I really did was keep the Winged Steeders, Riders, and Daring Skyjacks at bay, and my opponent really didn't want to try to swing in or do anything.
I respect that.
They're like the 2 biggest aggroers in the deck.
Right.
Yeah. Coming out in second place, we have Scion of Justice with White Weenie, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I actually beat Scion of Justice a couple of weeks, I think, before this, or a couple weeks before this when Moto crashed, and I was going to be into the top 8 of my first ever event, and I was like, thanks, Moto, thank you. At that time, I was playing Black, Red, White also, and he was playing his mono white deck. I don't consider this my first tournament because it was Worlds, and I shouldn't have been qualified, but there's no qualification. In third place, we have my brother from another mother. We have Gordani, who did prove me wrong because he completely smashed an Azorius aggro player in, I think, the Swiss, and then he said that when he lost to Torith in top 4, he had my problem. He just drew lands, and Torith just got the nuts and beat him down. So So far, the only time I've heard of Black, Red, White losing to Azorius Aggro is when you get unlucky, but seems like the thing about it is Azorius Aggro is just a very consistent deck that does the same
Right.
thing every game. And it's hard to beat that.
So,
Yeah, today I actually played against Avery 61, and this goes towards the argument for consistency.
Yeah.
And in both the matches against Avery, I got mana screwed, and the match he watched me play beforehand, I got mana screwed. And Avery he messages me, he says, I've watched a lot of Pauper videos. He goes, I have never seen anyone get mana screwed more often than you.
So he's never watched me.
Awesome.
And I know Avery's watched me.
are we almost ready to rule out that Azorius Aggro is basically the
It's the best deck.
It's besides being the best deck, is this your Delver of standard Pauper?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's best positioned right now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's the greatest deck ever, but yeah.
I mean, it's
where it's positioned is it's
definitely not lands in Legacy. I'll say that.
Do you think this survives rotation?
What do you mean rotation?
What blue that was Azorius?
Archive.
Yeah. We'll have to see. I don't want to make any predictions.
I don't like doing that either. I'm with Brennan on that one.
Yeah, we'll have to see what cons. Although Dan and I were having a conversation, and I really like where that conversation went, talking about, because I talked to him about being like the Mongol hordes a long time ago.
Yes,
and
the Mongol hordes.
Yeah, and Dan brought up a point about if they are going to go full Mongol hordes, then expect a lot of, weenie strategy. So that's something to be looking for. Maybe it's going to be a tokens thing.
I think that might actually be a good thing to have a lot of more aggro strategies, because the way that Standard is looking, both Standard Pauper and Standard, the way that Standard Pauper is looking is, it's looking like it's looking like all control, while Azorius Aggro is the only aggro deck that can really survive.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mono White's good, but I think if you're playing Mono White, you should just be playing the blue with it, because the blue just offers so much.
Yeah.
And in Standard, the way it's going to look, if you look at Block, like the recent Block Pro Tour, it's just going to be all mid-range decks all the time. So I don't know. I think that adding more aggro strategies at regular level and adding more aggro strategies at common might actually be a healthy thing.
Right. They seem to be on a rampage right now of getting rid of the same, power level of common that we had, especially with removal.
Yeah.
I think we'll also be getting rid of a lot of the common level counterspell magic. Basically, it looks like they want to put all that, as far as limited is concerned, at uncommon and greater, just to let people actually play Magic for a while.
Yeah.
I think M15 is going to definitely define what we can expect out of the next block. Like if we do see what Brendan is talking about, let's see that we see an Essence Scatter at uncommon, or Doomblade obviously has gone to uncommon now.
Mm-hmm.
We could see a big shift in control strategies just being more of a harder thing to actually do. Yeah. And we could just see control strategies not totally shifted out of Standard Pauper, but I think Wizards acknowledges Standard Pauper, at least it looks like they do.
Oh, and I definitely sales a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely think that Standard Pauper is gonna have a big shift. I have high hopes it's gonna be more diverse after M15 comes out, and especially after the new set comes out.
Yep, it'd be cool. I don't think they'll ever abandon it, because I remember hearing a dev conversation that they start off playing Standard Pauper with the new sets to see how the power level is.
Yeah,
I think at this point, Standard Pauper is actually like like Standard Pauper doesn't really cost Wizards anything, right? It's just, I mean, obviously, if they make they're never going to make dailies for it because I mean, they're just going to throw free packs away. At least,
they could make 8
at least they could make 8-mans. They definitely could. At least with
that'd be cool.
At least with Classic Pauper, you had to buy old school cards, and they, it encouraged you to draft old school formats to pick up Cloud of Fairies and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But with Standard Pauper, it's basically just like, you draft, it gives you a reason to draft these extra commons that you might be unplayable in draft, but are really, really good and constructed.
Yeah. Makes you draft more.
Yeah, like, I actually think Standard Pauper is a lot better constructive-wise for newer players than Classic Pauper is. Unless they bring back Empty the Warrens like they should, then it'll be funny.
Yeah.
It's not a Pauper.
No. I don't ever
No.
want the Storm mechanic reprinted. That and banding are probably my least favorite mechanics of all time.
Yeah.
I hate both of them with a passion.
Banding. Yep.
But
Winter will have hopefully come and stayed in hell by the time we see Storm back in Standard.
yeah. What are we left off? The Silent but Deadly.
Silent but no.
Yeah, that's Extort.
That's Gordon's. That's the black, red, white deck. So rounding out the top 4, we have RRR 726. Thank God it wasn't 720 or 420 because that would have kind of pissed me off. With mono black control.
Yep, and that's your extort deck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Coming into the top 8, in 5th place, we have my buddy Adner with his patented mono black control deck that he refuses to give up on. He lost to Torith in the top 8. So that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Then we have Godzo with another white weenie deck. He lost to Scion of Justice in the top 8. And Scion of Justice, I believe, was on mono black. No, he's on mono white.
Yeah.
So it was a mono white mirror. Then Moonziv, the other Azorius aggro player in the top 8, lost to Gordani. Like I said, Gordani told me that he pretty much smashed him. Gordani also beat Adner in round 1. And basically, when I faced Adner that week, I got my ass handed to me by 1 card. Can you guess which card?
What?
Merchant.
Yep, exactly that. Game 1, he didn't draw it, annihilated him. Game 2 and 3, he drew it and killed me.
Mm-hmm.
That's so stupid.
Because basically, if you don't have a counter for it, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, like, it's just, all my guys are sitting here. You can't kill them all. I just gain a bunch of life and you die.
Yep.
And then rounding out the top 8, we have VG Factor 88.
Fun Police.
Lost, what?
He's playing Fun Police.
Is he? Oh, yeah, you're right. He lost to RRR 726 in top 8, and he is playing Fun Police, a.k.a. pretty much Esper Control.
Yeah.
Esper Gate Control.
Yep.
He's playing Fun Police. Actually, this looks like the deck that I would play if I was going to play another tournament, possibly. Nah, I would play Azorius aggro because I actually want to win.
Right,
but,
you want to win.
Yeah, I kind of want to win. The next time I play one of these tournaments, I'm out for blood. That's how I'm looking at it. So we have 2 Azorius decks. One of them was the win, and one of them was an 8th. We have 2 mono black decks, one in top 4, one in 5th place. We have 1 black, red, white archetype originated by PK23 and refined by Gordani in 3rd place. We have 2 white weenie decks, one in 2nd, and we have 1 in 6th. And then we have this Fun Police Esper thing in 8th place. So not exactly the most diverse of things. You got to have the 7 expected archetypes, and then you have the 8th one.
Yeah.
Whoop-de-doo.
So that is our current metagame.
Yes, sir.
Any news on finance? Quick, like?
Well, it's all about Vintage Masters now, and a lot of my old specs are getting killed by reprints. One thing I didn't expect was that Vintage Masters would be so big. It's almost 50% bigger than Modern Masters. So a lot of commons will be there.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't sit on anything that's not modern legal.
Just start dumping.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you, Dan. I really do.
Yes.
So you sold your Dazes.
Yes.
What happens if they're not on Vintage Masters and they actually go up because of it?
Yeah,
Are
they
you
will
gonna be
go up a
pissed at
bit.
yourself?
Yeah. But then I will lose
Are you
maybe
pissed at yourself?
$2-3 per days instead of 9. So
Well, I mean, I'm still saying I was the one who told you not to sell them in that case.
yeah. But that's still the number one card I expect. Maybe a brainstorm was more given, but I definitely expect those.
Now, to be fair, I only point that out because Dan is usually the one that's better than financing than I am, and then I would have had my one little win down the hill, my one little Cherry Hill win.
Yeah.
I was thinking if Ancestral Mask is safe or not, but I think nothing is safe at this point.
Yeah.
I think they're ready to put anything they want.
Yeah.
There could easily be hexproof enchantments in.
Like you said, Mike, I think they're just trying to make MTGO more cost effective for everybody. So I think you're going to see lots of reprints and just really bring the cards down, prices down.
I think they just want to kickstart Vintage and Legacy now by giving people as many cards as possible.
I think. I mean, they already said there's going to be another Modern Masters set.
Yes.
So.
Or did they actually confirm that?
Yes, okay. they did. Last year they said it was going to. Last year I heard from several people. They said there will be a second Modern Master set.
Mm-hmm. Probably next summer.
One thing that I know they're gonna want to do is they're gonna want to be putting those hologram stickers on as much as they can, just because of the influx of counterfeits.
Yep.
And I know people say that they'll never reprint, this card or that card that's only vintage or legacy legal. I say things have changed. I know they said they wouldn't, but with such an influx as what's happening right now with all the counterfeits.
Oh, they're going after everybody too. Wizards is suing everybody for counterfeiting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, it's. I heard that it's the reserve list is a board question. That it's like they can't ever leave the reserve list because it would be it would hurt Hasbro's credibility towards its major stock owners. So it's like it will absolutely never happen, and I still believe that.
Yeah.
So the reserve list.
I agree.
Yeah, they can just never do it.
What about like dual lands? Dual lands aren't on reserve.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They are on the reserve list.
Oh, okay.
But what they could
all
do.
the cards on the reserve list are I believe, Tempest and before. Wasteland is not on the reserve list, I don't think. Strip Mine is. Wasteland isn't.
Yeah.
Yes.
They could reprint Wasteland. They'll never do it, probably, but they could.
Yeah.
I think the only way that Wizards could do away with the reserve list, and I think they might actually want to at this point, is only if they rebought themselves back out of Hasbro somehow. I don't know. They went back to being an independent company. I think if they did that, due to all the counterfeits in circulation, they might actually just say we gotta get rid of the ban list.
But do they really care about the vintage counterfeits? Doesn't really hurt Wizards. They only care about the modern counterfeits.
Don't they care about the legacy counterfeits too, though?
No, because it's such a small percentage of their player base, and they're now giving Vintage Masters to the Vintage and Legacy players. So here's our way around the reserve list. Play online. Then they will force somebody to play on their crappy beta client as well.
Yeah.
So I think Wizards are done with Legacy and Vintage in paper. And that they will now reprint as much as possible in Modern with the new ships and stuff to get around the counterfeit.
I mean, there's only 2 events that I know of that are not proxied events, and that are the 2 championship events, which is Bazaar of Moxon and Vintage Worlds in Philadelphia, which I will be going to this year.
Yeah.
Playing, I have no idea, but I will be going to because I do know Nick Koss pretty well, so shout-outs to him. But there are a lot of modern counterfeits going out, which I think if you are a person that is counterfeiting Magic cards, I don't want to go into a big profanity thing, but I will say that in my opinion, you are a very bad person that should just leave the game because you're just ruining it for everybody.
They don't care.
Yeah.
I know they don't care. This is why I hate like 99% of the population.
Yeah. The way I see it is one criminal in a poor country who's doing something that doesn't actually hurt people physically. So that's good.
Yeah. But is that all for finance?
Yeah, that's
we had a rage for
be
this
prepared,
week, but
or
nobody cares anymore.
just dump stuff because
Okay.
I sold my brain cells.
Here's the rage of the week. All counterfeiters. I'm sticking the birds up. Double
There you
time.
go.
Deuces. Technically, it's at Paul Cheon because I'm watching his stream, but he doesn't know that right now.
Yeah.
But it's not at him. It's at you counterfeiters.
Yeah.
Double deuces.
Cool. Shout outs. I want to shout out Derek Brent and thank him for making me a list. And I'm not only going to be making it online, but I will be making it in paper, and I will be probably playing it in regular EDH because the list is that good.
Cool.
So, shout outs to him. Anyone else have any shout outs?
Yeah, shout outs to Con of the North. I think we should let people know about it.
Yeah. Mikey is coming to Con of the North, so anyone in Minnesota or wherever, it's worth going to. It's a lot of fun. Check it out.
I am. I'm going to desperately try to come to Con of the North. Especially, I'm going to be coming with two of the three other friends that I plan on opening up the store with. So,
cool.
You know, if any of you people from New York are going to Con of the North, and you listen to this podcast, you know, let us know, man.
Yeah. So cool.
A shout out to Wolfboy Hunter for being awesome and helping me and Brennan out.
Oh yeah, Sam's a good dude, y'all.
Sam.
Cool.
Sam.
And of course, shout outs to Longtime Gone for being such a great host of the Pauper Classic Tuesdays. And also, I did talk to Longtime Gone. There is works for a European time Pauper Classic tournament and hopefully a second Pauper Classic tournament.
Ooh.
The only thing that's really complicated right now is finding a trustworthy person, I have to say that, to host it and finding some sponsor.
Cool.
So, you know, if any of you, want to help out, you can contact Longtime Gone on Magic Online. If any of you have a sponsor that you think can line up, please let them know.
Cool. How can they get a hold of you, Mike?
Well, I have a surprise for all of you, especially for the person as Paul Cheon just got past Xenagos. That's real great. So, son of a... I wish I got past those types of cards. But yeah, so to the person who apparently sent me a deck list for EDH, if you could resend it to my Twitter, where you can follow me at MikeyK159, that'd be pretty cool. I'd appreciate that as well. Please follow me. I will always tweet out when my videos go live, so you guys will know ahead of time. I'll try to tweet out whenever my article goes live on Imperium TGO as well. Also, you can catch me on Magic Online, of course, at MikeyK159. Please excuse me if I do not answer you right away. I might either be recording, so I might not be able to answer you, or I might not actually be there because sometimes I leave my Magic Online and walk away. I know that sometimes pisses people off, but there's nothing I can do. Man's got to go take a leak sometime. You can also reach me on YouTube at MikeyK159, at Twitch at MikeyK159. I'm pretty much everywhere at MikeyK159.
Cool. How they get a hold of you, Dan?
You can reach me on YouTube on Magic Gathering Strat or Fan of History. I'm also Fan of History on the Pauper to the People forums at paupertothepeopleproboards.com.
Cool. How they get a hold of you, Brian?
Any of the YouTube videos, just make a comment. Also Twitter at Brankin LOLZ, or just search for Cyrulean. That's the easiest way.
Cool. You can get a hold of me at Pauper to the People at gmail.com, commandershq2 at gmail.com. I'm on Twitter at Nathan Yunkin. I'm online on MTGO at NUCon, or I'm online on NUCon. So that's pretty much all the places you can reach me. But until next week, I'm Nate.
I'm Mike.
I'm Dan.
I'm Brennan.
And Peter's,
Peter's
somewhere.
gone.
No!
And Chris Weaver hates Magic Online.
Yes.
Oh my God, excuse me. In the words of DZYL, oh my God. These pack prices for MTGO are seriously depressing.
But this is Pauper to the people.
Wait. That's it. That's
That
it.
smells
That's
delicious.
it. That's the
awesome.
melody to funk. That's the melody to Funky Town. Pauper to the people.
But
I'm gonna do that every week from now on too.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks.
but I have to run. But I need to get going.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm dead tired. Good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.